Consistency in any relationship leads to intimacy. My friends, I love that quote. Why? Because we talk about consistency of being involved in the markets every day. And the intimacy you will gain from that consistency in your relationship to following price movement will be invaluable. You want to understand what's going on in the market. You want to understand as best as you can what's happening with the ETFs and the stocks you follow. You want to understand their personalities because they are all different. They act different ways around different trading zones, summertime trading zone, fall, winter trading zone, transition zones, around dividends, around earnings calls, warning season, all those kinds of things. You learn that when you invest the time in the relationship consistently. You learn those intimate facts, and those are extremely valuable for you. So each and every day, 10 to 15 minutes, that is all we ask. Let's jump into these charts. We see stocks are down, bonds, gold, Bitcoin are up. Stocks are down just a little bit, 0.31% on the S&P 500. Of course, we can see where it was knocked out of the trade this morning. If you stayed in that long, if you ever got in, which we were not excited about because of the downturn on Friday. As the day was wearing on, things actually topped out started topping all the way back on Wednesday and sort of slowed down and then rolled over going down. No big surprise there when you see the volume with the spinning top there on Friday morning, and then things moving over, going down Friday afternoon, and have continued pretty much to do that. So as we look, we can see we do have a green up candle. Maybe things will turn around. We look at the 2-day candle, first day of the latest 2-day candle after a doji. We see that it is a down move that's getting in there. And like I said, we see red down candles 1, 2, 3.5 days. So we're waiting for things to sort of settle up and give us a good feeling as to which way they're going to go. We're going to go into the Qs now. What do we see going on the NASDAQ 100? Same kind of thing happened. We saw average volume, the highest volume that we had seen pretty much all week that week. And then what happened? Well, that was on the 23rd, last Friday. We saw what? We saw things pop up with that higher volume, spinning top, and then roll over in the afternoon. Not excited about staying in the trade. Of course, it's not hit. It's come close, but not hit the bottom of the band. It's sitting right there right now on the weekly trend line. Yes, you could still be into that, waiting to see what's going to happen. Wouldn't be opposed to that. We see that we've not penetrated the weekly trend line on either the half-day or the 2-day chart, and we will see how the Qs continues. Now, it was down 0.72% for the day. Let's move on to bonds. Where are they? They're up a little bit, 0.28%. Saw bonds push through on the half-day chart, the weekly trend line, and then push back down through on Friday after this week. Now, weren't super excited about bonds because of all this period here, up and down and sideways. Then finally did accelerate down back on the 31st and moved on. We actually hit the bottom there on it with a 2.45% move down. And of course, we sold half of that position, let the rest of it ride. And of course, you could still be into that. It just depends on how you read the Friday candle from last week. Well, the weekly candle from last week that closed on Friday. So we'll keep an eye on things for the day, 0.28% up. And again, if you rode through that, you may very well have kept in just to see if you were going to be able to capture any more profit on the down move. And you might be able to do so. What about gold? Well, we saw gold again get down close to knocking us out, but it did not make it. And what ended up happening with gold is then popped up and now is trying to roll back down. Would have taken you out of that trade this week. Gold up for the day 0.11%. We're just waiting to see what actually is going to happen with gold, how it's going to sort itself out again. Getting sloppy like so many of our charts. Those of you who are Patreon members, if you heard the three-wave trades training video I put out for you yesterday on those liquid stocks with liquid options, liquid ETFs with liquid options that we curate for you every week, talking about how so many of the charts are in flux right now, waiting for the market to do what? To settle out so we have a firm direction. That's what we're looking for. That's what we need because we want to follow a trend. We don't have to be first into it, but we have to have a trend that we can recognize and that we can follow. Bitcoin up for the day, 1.02%. Now, as we look at the ETF, that is the VanEck Bitcoin Strategy ETF, known as XBTF, we see that, again, going into the fourth week of down movement, hit, we've been about the same point here for the last 4 weeks. What do we see happening? We did drop a little bit lower over the last few days. Like we said, up a little bit for the day. Volume right there on average on the half-day chart. About on average for the weekly chart. And this first day of this latest 2-day candle, I don't know where that's going to end up going. We just want to see things continue to pull back and then sort of reset and move up at the appropriate point. We'll wait, watch, and see how that works out for us. But at the time where we are right now, we're just keeping an eye on Bitcoin, hoping it's going to give us an entry point to jump in on a decent up move. That is where we are as we end the day on Thursday, go into Friday. Don't forget to close the markets on Friday. We will be preparing our weekly review and forecast for you. Patreon members, we've already uploaded Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies. We'll release that to everybody else tomorrow. We also uploaded, as I said earlier, three-wave trades. And we will be uploading your weekly vertical crossovers. Check the Patreon site. You also should be getting an email, but always remember, if for some reason you don't see the email, if it's in your spam filter, whatever happens to it, everything we always do for you is at the Patreon site. And if you want to support what we do here at chartingwealth.com, become a Patreon member. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.